What's up, guys? It's the Furl21 Get Some, and no DN video today because I've actually have a temporary ban on DN. Short story on that another way. So I'm going to be sharing with you today my Blackwing deck. Now it's going to be in paper because a lot of the decks I show on DN are decks I actually have. So to start off, we're going to be showing you my Blackwing deck for this. So my list is really simple. I start with 3 Sure of the Blue Flames. Now this deck is foiled out because I want it. So Sure is your staple in the deck. It allows you to go into a lot of just basic 7 plays. 1800 attack's always nice for the Blackwing. If you know anything about the Blackwing deck, Sure used to be your main go-to guy who was just 18, run something over, instant you know, what was it? Nowadays it's instant Talk Joe or instant Armmaster, instant Black Rose. It's just a really good way to open up the play. But also, with the release of Premium Gold 2, Return of the Bling, also best set name ever, we got a new card for our deck, a little toy, to actually get our Shuras. We have, so there's the Shuras, 3 Super Shuras, 3 Chris Crackadons. Now, Chris is really good. He's a 19-3, and one of the problems with Shura, as you can see, is one, it does have less stats, at least in the attack line, which is what you care about in this deck, is you would summon Shura, and they would book it or something, or bottomless it, and you wouldn't, so they would bottomless Shura or whatever, or Torrential, and you wouldn't get the search off a Whirlwind, but Chris has a built-in protection effect, so it's once per turn if it would be destroyed by a spell or trap effect. It is not. But a plus side, it's not your opponent, so you can actually summon this Torrential, and then get your Whirlwind searches, and then go Gale, 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 and just boom, which is one thing I like about it. Also, he can special summon himself like a Bora if you have another Blackwing, but he can only do it once. But he's really good for overlays, and also, he searches out your entire deck. Then we've got the good old-fashioned Triple Gale. When Gale came back, that was really nice, but Gale is really good because he's got the permanent cut, he's a 13, special summon himself, tuner, instant 7 plays, just overall a lot of fun. Also really good when, comboing with, oh, there go the monsters, all over the place. Woo! And this is why new sleeves are awesome, everyone. Unless you just drop everything. Alright, so, next up I was going to show is, oh wow, they actually kind of cut themselves that way. Nice. So, on top of that, we've got the next card in the lineup of Blackwings is Triple Bora the Spear. So Bora's your 17 Piercer. He's really just one of your main beef sticks. 17's not a lot, but being able to go boom, 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 and then you could overlay for something, or instant Exciton Knight or instant Abyss Dweller. Just overall just a really good card. You pretty much never normal summoning him unless you really need to. But also, being 17, he gets the rest of the deck, so you can normal him, set an Ick attack, and be like, boom, and then next turn, Gale out into something else. Blizzard out. Next card in the deck is, speaking of Blizzard, 2 Blizzard of the Far Norths. I was testing with 3 for a while, and I found that 3 is really cloggy, because while 3 is good in control versions of this deck, which go like a big dude, a lot of your plays are 7s, not 6s. 6 is really only used to get Nathung right now. So if you go Blizzard to get... So actually, I'm going to explain this combo. So if you have Whirlwinds, you go Blizzard, search up a like a Panaki, but there's really nothing you can search up with him, which kind of sucks. But let's say you have a Blizzard and a Chris in hand, and you want to use the Chris, but you also need like a beat on the field this turn. So you can go Blizzard, whatever, make a Nathung, get Nathung's ability, you get another summon, and then you summon the Chris, and then you go off. So it allows you to get double summons and just keep a dude on board, which is always really nice. Also, we've got, let's see, these are singles. So my Kalutes are in the mail, so I've been playtesting with Triple Forbidden Lands as my Kalutes. Sorry, because my Super Kalutes are in the mail. So when those come in, these are 3 Kalutes. It is a 3-star 1400 attack, and you never use it for that. You can pitch it from your hand. It's a 1400 honest. Pretty stable. Just always fun to triple search up when you can, because it lets you get in for a game. Then we've got one Steam the Cloak. Steam the Cloak is really good because it does let you go Steam into 7. This with either Chris or Bora is an instant Leo. So the play is you summon him, you get Chris or Bora, same thing, make 7. And it's really fun when the 7 you make is Hawk Joe, because then you're like, Hawk Joe, special summon, late game you can bring back like an Armor Master or something. But it doesn't really matter because you make that, so you make Hawk Joe or whatever, it doesn't matter, typically it's Armor Master. You'll get the token, you'll sack the token, you bring him back, and then boom, you go into Leo, which is just really hard for decks to get around nowadays. Also, he's a 31 beef stick, so woohoo! You play, I play 1 Panaki. Some people say Steam is better, but I've been testing with 1 Panaki, and I find that when you're going with Panaki, just being able to set up for a turn off of him is fun. Also, if you, I believe it works that way. Yeah, so if you actually use him for so you can summon Panaki with an Icarus attack set, and then when your opponent goes to end their turn, you go Icarus attack, and then you get a search off of this. So people said like Steam is better, but I do like him because he's a good Ick attack target, and he also does search at Panaki, Steam the Cloak, which by the way is a crush card target, and I do run crush in this list, but in the board, and I'll show you. And then my last card is Zephyros the Elite. Bounce back your Whirlwind. Bounce back a special summon him. He's just really good overall. 1600 beef stick. Not really a beef stick, but good card overall. Just some combos with him that I'm kind of learning as I still play the deck. Going into the spell lineup, it is a little more aggressive than a lot of builds. It's a double MST, which I've been liking. Some people say play 3. I mean, Cleese just won in Michigan, got 2nd place in Michigan, so the Ick attacks are kind of number 3, 4, and 5. Singleton Raigeki, because if you're going to push for game, you're pushing for game. Single Book, it's Book, what am I going to say here? Some people say triple pot, I go double pot, and then single allure. So some people go triple pot, no allure, I go 2 pot, 1 allure, because, oh, by the way, First Dead Phantom Darkness ulti. Love it. I like double pot because early game it's good, but you really don't want to see it late game because you just want to be pushing for damage. Then we got triple ulti Whirlwinds. Whirlwind's really good because you can play all 3, and 1 card is a +3. Searches out your deck. If you play with Blackwings, you know what it is. Otherwise, watch a Blackwing primer to figure out what you do with that card. Now in the trap lineup, mine's, here we go, starting from the top. We have triple Icarus attack. Icarus attack is really good. You just set it and forget it. And if your opponent tries to do something, you just chain and it pluses you all day, every day. You got 1 Mirror Force and 1 Black Sonic I run. A lot of decks are doing 2 Mirror Force or 2 and 2 or whatever. You can not play the Mirror Force. If you play Mirror Force, then you can supplement with the Black Sonic. I never think you should play just Black Sonic. While Sonic is really good because it's Deep Prison on steroids, you need a Blackwing. And if you're playing off the back of, let's say, they Raigeki you, this is just dead in the water. As where Mirror Force is, never dead in the water. Also, they can't mind crush a Mirror Force out of a bad situation and hit both. One of the reasons I kind of like to split up and play singletons nowadays is I'm kind of scared of Mind Crush. Speaking of Mind Crush, 1 Mind Crush. I was testing 2. I was testing 1 in a drop-off. I just found 1 was really good. Main decked. Single Emptiness. It's Emptiness. Okay. Single Warning. It's Warning. Single Bottomless. It's Bottomless. Also really good against Clee matchup because they just all go away. And then single Chain. I was trying a breakthrough skill. I just realized Chain is really good because you do get the Zephyron ability, which counts Chain if you don't kill it. And then I go to my extra deck. I'll start with my Xyz. Here they are. So, 1 Rhapsody Berserk. Good for hitting the graveyard. Also, 0 attack, so he can equip to another XYZ. Not really using that. But it's killing the graveyard, and he's 0, so he's crushable. always fun. You have in here, and he's also dark, so that's also important for Crush. You have Castell, the Skyblaster Musketeer. Really good for setting things so you can run over with your monsters. Also, shuffling things away is always fun. Shuffling away so you can activate him, flip an emptiness, and then when on your turn you can shuffle away, you know, face up card. Fun. Shuffle away himself. Shuffle away another Exposé if you want. Shuffle away an emptiness. Shuffle away a Whirlwind if you ever want to do that. Shuffle away your opponent's Whirlwind. Single Exciton Knight, because for some reason this is just any 2 level 4s, and Bora Bora Black Rose, hell yeah. Single Abyss Dweller, Graveyard Hate. I've kind of been liking Rhapsody with Abyss Dweller. It's the reason I'm not running 2 Dwellers, but I find that just having Dweller as well is being able to use it reactively more so than, Rhapsody. Kind of personal preference there, but, that's what I do. Do what you do. 1 Silent Honor Arc, because Silent Honor Arc is the boss. Any deck goes turn 1, big dude, you're like, steal, and it's Arc. Single Zephyron, hell yeah, Skill Drain, hell yeah, Whirlwinds make him an instant 29, hell yeah, he's really big and really fun. Also, he's got 22, and pro tip, Winged Beast, so you can attack him off in response. Going into the Synchros, starting at level 6, it's 1 Goyo Guardian, because it's Goyo Guardian, and because it's Goyo Guardian. I only play 1 because we have our Blackwing guy, Nathong, which when it hits the board, burns for 800, so he's kind of a gaga. You can finish up game with him. Really fun card, gets you another normal summon, so you can go Blizzard into something, into Nathong to get normal into Whirlwind off again. Whirlwinding twice on a turn is just really stupid if you think about it. And then going into our 7s, I have 2 7s. So I've got Armor Master, because it's Armor Master. Also, not being destroyed by battles, pretty powerful this format. There are big beat sticks out there, and sometimes just not dying to them and then killing them next turn. It can really put a hamper on your opponent. And then I've got 1 Hawk Joe. Hawk Joe to bring out Nathong to get the ability to get another summon is always fun. It just can really accelerate you out of a dead position. Also, bringing back an Armor Master is really good. I was actually playtesting a Gladiator Beast version of this deck, and Hawk Joeing out a Geyseris for the pops was just the shit. Going into the last 7, you have 1 Black Rose Dragon, because it's Black Rose, you find yourself in a situation, just go boom, and then sometimes you just don't use the effect, and just 24 beats, but for this situation, it's just a nuke. 1/8, we have Stardust Spark Dragon. It allows you to set up with him, and then you're pretty much guaranteed to get a search off your Whirlwind next turn. Also, it's Spark Dragon. Some people say Beals. I like Spark Dragon. I'm going to test between the 2. And then Leo, because Steam lets you go instant Leo. And he's big. And he gets destroyed by Shadalls. Because, look at the flavor text. Look at the Orange Shadal. Anyway, going into the side deck. Now, my side deck, I would say, is very, very, very unorthodox. 3 monsters in the side deck. We start off with Thunder King. Shuts a lot of decks down. Also, being able to stop a summon is always fun. And shutting deck downs is really fun. It's like the Denko Sekka for searchers. That's what it is. Then we've got Double Max C, because nothing's more fun than getting gas off your opponent's gas. Going into the spells, I run 2 Spell Shattering Arrows, because if in the mirror match, it just blows their Whirlwinds up. Also pops their Scout and their Monolith, and doesn't hurt you as much as Fairy Wind. That's the reason I play this over the other thing. Granted, you don't hit emptiness, but you can collude over things anyway, and you have instant access to just tons of removal in your deck. Not really, but you get my point. It's not as bad a game as you think, because you can actually play around that. Because you can just summon and get collude and just sit on that. 1 MST to go to 3, and 1 Shared Ride to search up if you're playing against anything with heavy searchers, Necroz, Cleese, this deck, because this is when every time they add it from deck to hand, except by drawing. So if in the mirror match you go shared ride, you just ride off their dang whirlwinds. Then I've got my trap line up. I'm gonna start off with this over here. It's 2 Gozen matches because essentially you're playing nothing but darks. And against decks that are like KMPs or, you know, a lot of things are similar attribute now, but the decks that are not, you're just like, no. It's only 2. It's not as powerful a card it is, but it does help you fight the rogue matchup, which you kind of struggle to a little bit. Singleton Mask of Restrict, it stops Monolith plays, it stops Cleese a little bit, it stops Necroz dead because they can't use the ritual spells, because they have to tribute for it. Stops Monarchs, stops you from getting crush carded, which is always fun. Single Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, you can collude under it. Also, your dudes are just big, so that's enough sometimes to get through with a mirror. Skill Drain, because you can play under Skill Drain. Your dudes are just big, and it also shuts the other decks down more than it hurts you. 1 Fairy Wind, just 1 because it's Fairy Wind, and being able to nuke the board or the back rows and going off is always fun. Single Breakthrough Skill, I've been testing it, I like it. Being able to flip it and then on your turn going effect is always fun. What do you expect? And then last but not least, a single Crush Card Virus. It's the old tech, so you play by these rules, not the new tech. Just kidding. So Crush Card Virus is really good against Cleese, in my opinion. It's good against Necroz. It's just being able to hit the decks outright, and nuking their hand is always a lot of fun. The send from deck to graveyard is really bad because it's their choice, but really you don't want to use it unless you're sure what deck they're playing, which is why it's in the board. But crush carding off is always fun. Anyway, guys, that's my Blackwing deck. Let me know what you think in the comments. I have a Klee deck that I'm probably going to do soon. I have a Yusenju deck I'm going to probably do soon. But as the format goes on, I'm going to start playing these out. Maybe get some actual on-table duels so you can see how I actually play the deck, not just on DN. So with that being said, rate, comment, subscribe, usual YouTube plug, blah, blah, blah. Check me out on the forums, check me out on Twitter, check me out on Twitch if you like watching Xbox gameplay. Check out my channel if you like seeing duels, if I duel commentary. All the usual things. Have a good one, guys.